Yo, what is going on, guys? Salam, peace and blessings upon you. This is the Thoughtful Banter podcast, the very best.
Yo, why we sound so good, bro? Like this sound quality is hitting right now.
The very best Muslim podcast out there. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to us. Make sure to follow, like whatever you do on that. Whatever you do to let that platform know that you're enjoying this podcast. I'm right here with my co-host Hussein.
Yes, sir.
And as always, now we want to shout out the patrons who are supporting the awesome Patreon page. If you guys want to support the Patreon page, is the best way to actually give us support. Hussein, can we get the shout outs?
Before we jump into anything, I just want to give a big shout out to our patrons. Thank you guys so much for supporting us for a pretty long time now. I'm looking at the dates that you guys joined, so thank you guys so much. We're starting with my boy Ali. Then we got T-Jam, not sure who that is, but big shout out to you. Then we got my boy Justin, always repping, Muhammad, and Jordan. Thank you guys so much for all your support. A little bit goes a long way, and more than anything, we just love the
I like the money, no cap. I mean, no cap, because it's like a recent example of that is, money don't make the world go down, but we happen to allow the world to go around with money. That makes sense.
SubhanAllah, that was well worded. I was about to come for your neck.
Yeah, I saw that coming, and I had to okay, let me rephrase this in an appropriate way. Money is what we've decided to be as our mark for value. And these podcasts, they take work, and especially with recent things. I don't know if you guys saw, but we released our first Thoughtful Vibes video. We had some fun filming that. Took some time, took more effort than the usual content, because that was not like a podcast episode. That was, to me, kind of like a short film. We had to go in person, interview the guy, and the editing took some time. So yeah, these patrons really help make the podcast. They really kind of show, at least for me, they make me realize that we're on the right track. Because even if you're willing just to give $1 a month, when someone's willing to give you money, it really shows that they value what you're doing.
Yeah. That's true.
Also, we have a newsletter now called the Thoughtful Digest. I know the name is mad cute. Thoughtful Digest. It's a monthly newsletter. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to make that the first link. Wherever you're watching this, you can click that link. It's in the first link in the description. And it's just going to be once a month. It's not going to be like a weekly newsletter. We're not going to spam you. Just for monthly updates on new episode, what we're doing, and the new Thoughtful Vibes video, because we're going to do once a month. There's going to be a Thoughtful Vibes video, which is going to be something that's not a podcast episode. But Hussein, what did you think about Thoughtful Vibes?
I mean, obviously, I think everyone who watched it noticed that our audio in the interview, which is really bad.
Yeah.
And it was because you said you couldn't find the footage. We had two different mics. And the way they were set up is that one was hooked to one camera and the other mic was hooked to another camera. And so the other camera that had the angle of me and Matty, for whatever reason, Matty couldn't find the footage. It must have been corrupted or something. So the audio you hear is not our audio from the microphone that we were using. Yeah. It is the audio from the camera that was recording, that was connected to the microphone that was on Chris's neck, basically.
Yeah. That was unfortunate.
So it was the camera mic was picking that up, our voices up, basically.
Yeah. It was some echoing, reverberating sound.
Maybe.
But overall, what would you give it?
No. I mean, I think your editing is so different. Just to gas my boy up a little bit.
Stop it, bro.
Just to gas my boy up a little bit. That editing was so different. That was honestly my favorite part, just looking at the edits of the food and stuff. I like the trailer more than I actually like the interview.
Just because the trailer was just more condensed.
Yeah. But the B-roll is really nice. I think that camera is delicious. So yeah, that's all I got.
I like to do more of that. I don't know who should we do next.
There are a couple Muslim businesses. I just don't know if we'll have the ability to I know we could definitely do their food, reviews of their food and stuff. I just don't know if we'll be able to get that kind of access behind the scenes to talk with the owner, for example.
Maybe next time it'll be more food based.
Yeah.
Showing us eating the food.
Yeah.
And all that. Also a
mukbang type beat. You guys want to see a thoughtful banter mukbang?
I do not like mukbangs. They're so bad. I don't understand. Like, it's such a weird piece of content on the internet. Mukbangs.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked into mukbangs?
No, I mean, I've seen like I've seen a couple of people do one here or there, but I've never
Bro.
like. What do you mean look into? Like, what is there to
Search
look
up
into?
right now. You're on my laptop.
Yes.
Search up mukbangs.
Am I gonna regret this?
Yeah, but you're not gonna click on it. You're just gonna see the thumbnails. Look at what is being shown.
What language is that?
I think it's Japanese.
Mukbangers that changed a lot. Wow, this dude was so skinny and now he's thick.
Dude, it's like basically, if you guys haven't heard of what a mukbang is, it's like this content style where the dude sits a camera in front of himself, gets like not just a serving of food, like minimum 10,000 calories worth of food.
Does it have to be like a lot of food, or can it
I
just
think
be
it's
like
always a
meal?
lot of food.
Is that like a criteria for it?
I don't know if that's a
Maybe.
criteria, but I know that's what has become online in terms probably because they get more views based on more food they're eating.
Yeah, because I've seen people like eat food and call it a mukbang, but it hasn't been like ridiculous amounts of food.
I don't
You
know,
feel me?
but I'm maybe that's it. There's a YouTuber by the name of something, I think Nikado Avocado. This dude is like the biggest mukbang channel, and he started off like as a slender guy.
Avocado.
He started off as a slender guy, and literally in like a couple of like in a year or so, he's ballooned, and his mental health has ballooned at the same rate. Like, it's kind of weird the position people put themselves in, right? Like, you look at this opportunity and you're like, you know what? I know this is bad for me. Like, I'm getting paid to gorge myself multiple times a week.
That is so disgusting.
And not even like eating good food, like bad food.
Like McDonald's type beat?
Yes.
Ugh.
Like there's one video where it's like enough fries for like 5 dudes watching football with a thick layer of melted cheese on top.
And they're not like because remember that competitive eater dude,
Yeah.
Matt Stoney.
He's goated. It's insane.
He eats a lot.
They eat like that. But
They
they're
eat
not
like
doing it
that.
for time. They're not eating for time, so they're just eating slowly. They're eating through the whole
I mean,
thing.
he does something. He must be like going to the gym as well or something. Like
He says like he fasts and
he
whatnot.
fast.
Like water fasting type beat, I think.
How does his stomach not like dummy shrink? Because whenever I fast, I guess I'm also not drinking water when I fast. So
Yeah.
maybe that makes a difference. I don't know.
I think, but like, just think about the mindset, right? Like, you're doing this for the bag.
Mm.
And I was just thinking, maybe if I were skinny, I'd start doing that. But I think because of like my struggles with health in my life, I don't think I'd compromise my health ever to that extent for money.
I mean,
Ever.
yeah, no. Even as someone who's skinny, I'm good. I don't want to gorge myself. Like,
How much would it be for someone to like pay you?
bro, I have no idea. Like, these things like you've never thought about, so
Yeah.
you have like zero idea. I have no idea, bro.
I don't think
If someone was like $1,000, absolutely not. Like,
No. What if I was like, hey, I'm gonna pay you. If you do this for 5 years, I'll pay you $2 million a year.
5 years, $2 million a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Got me rethinking out here.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. Like, hypothetically, I'm sure you could use that money to put back into your health.
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
But
10
hold on.
million over
You're on
5
camera.
years, bro.
You're on camera, and this is what you're known
That's my
for.
family set.
Hussein. But like everyone, family man. Look, listen. You want to see everyone, like everyone's gonna watch you just stuff your face.
Yes.
Like you're gonna look so fat, bro.
But I'm gonna not let myself look fat. Do you feel me?
What if you're just gonna look fat with it?
Oh,
Even if you don't look fat internally, I mean, let's be real. We only care about what's on the outside, but also internally, you're not gonna be looking good either.
yeah, no, probably not.
But would you do it for what is that, $10 million?
I mean,
5 years?
Can I eat like clean food but stuff myself, or do we gotta be like?
No, during the mukbangs, you're eating mukbangs.
Does it gotta be like?
Yeah, so sorry. I haven't even said like the scenario. Okay. So you get paid. This is like an average, like basically like what a YouTuber would make.
Okay.
Like a huge mukbang channel. You're making weekly content. Let's say at least 3 days a week you do a mukbang. It's like 10,000 calorie challenge or whatever.
Mm.
You're eating garbage, or even if you're not eating garbage, you're eating so much food.
I have to finish all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're doing these videos. You have to record yourself. You have to upload it. And you get paid $2 million a year. You do that for 5 years. And outside of the mukbangs, you can do whatever. But your job is these mukbang videos. Would you do it?
No, bro.
You want to do it? $2 million a year.
I wouldn't be able to look at myself.
$2 million a year.
If I get 10 million over 5 years or whatever, because you said 5 years,
Yeah.
or you say 3 years, 5 years, whatever.
Yeah, 5 years.
10 million over 5 years after taxes. I don't know how much that is. But
Like
I also have a large.
7 million,
I also have
I
like
don't
a
know.
large chunk type beat.
Yeah.
Anyways, bro, I won't be able to walk. I'll be in a wheelchair.
You don't think you can mitigate it by like your off days by like just not eating and like doing insane amount of cardio and drinking water?
I can't even fathom. But
You could probably use it as an opportunity to put on like an insane amount of muscle. You like always lift heavy and you just fast and do cardio and drink water on those off days.
yeah,
I wouldn't do it either.
yeah, no,
I couldn't.
rough.
I couldn't. I think I rather, if I had to choose between being rich and not having my health, or being poor and having my health, I think I'd choose having my health. Because
hold up. How did we get here? Oh, I said thoughtful banter mukbang, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was in my head was not a mukbang as you're describing it. Because I've just never been on that part of YouTube, so I didn't know that's what it
I've
was.
been on every part of YouTube. Don't feel bad.
You're so funny. No, but I was just thinking like the mukbangs, the quote unquote mukbangs, I guess that I've seen. I've just been two people eating and they're like just talking, like shooting the breeze.
Like the Brandon Shaw show.
Like yeah,
Below
something
the
like
Belt,
that.
right?
Below the belt.
Yeah. That's a good show.
That man is a goofy.
Yeah. He's like, I'm happy he found his thing because it's like he wasn't too good at fighting, but like he's still in fighting because of the show. He's
Bro,
decent at like talking and podcasting or whatever.
These UFC fighters are so
Boring?
stupid, bro.
Like, who's the stupidest UFC fighter? I don't know if you want to say in case you ever meet them.
I mean, it's not like they're gonna beat me on site. I mean, they might, but like that's a
Depending on how stupid they are.
entire
Some of them.
lawsuit. But anyways,
Yeah, I'd love for Carter to assault.
absolutely. I'd be like,
Someone get a phone right now. I'll limp. I'll be faking it like I'm a soccer player, bro. What the hell did you say to me? I antagonized the heck out of Conor McGregor for a paycheck.
No, this man was like, he was talking about AOC's dress,
Mhm.
the dress that said "tax the rich" or whatever.
Conor was?
No, Brendan Schaub, and he was like, "Yeah, tax the rich." Meanwhile, he was like, "Tax the rich." Meanwhile, the rich pay all your taxes. And then he sits back and he's like, "Got him."
And then you know when like you're with someone and like you're doing something like you're recording or something, like a video or something. Probably this has happened with me, right? And they say something so stupid, but you don't want to like flame them or like point it out on
Yeah.
camera or on the mic. And so all his co-hosts were just like, yeah. And so
and so they just like completely
Dude, that be
changed
happening to
topic.
Brendan a lot though.
Yes,
He
has,
just be
like,
taking bad takes. Like,
CTE, bro.
no, he's just not getting things
That's
sometimes.
CTE, bro.
I don't know, bro. Like this.
I mean, we don't know.
No, people just be like built different. I'm like that too,
He goofed so much.
bro. No, that's not. See, I'm just, dude.
Bro, you goof nowhere near as much as Brendan.
I haven't been to the UFC yet. After a boxing match, maybe I'll
Yeah,
be
what's
goofing
the
like
difference?
that.
What's the difference?
Oh yeah, the CTE.
Yeah. But anyways, what did you think about the whole AOC dress
I don't
thing?
know, bro. I'm not educated. I mean, like, it's kind of like, you know, on one hand, it's like she's damned if she does, she's damned if she doesn't. Because if she goes there and she doesn't talk about poverty, but she cares about poverty and her supporters know that, she's going to be roasted for going to this gala.
Yeah.
But if she goes there and uses the opportunity to raise awareness about something that she cares about, people are like, "Oh, but how'd you get there, Richie?" It's like I think you're allowed to make a statement there, even though you're, you know, like just because she paid for the I understand that she paid a lot of money for the ticket, right? Or her even if it was a gift, her being there is a sign of privilege. But just because you're there in a privileged space doesn't mean you can't use that as a platform.
I mean, yeah,
to talk about it. However, it being on the dress and like, I don't know. It's like, I think at the same time, you know what? Hold up. I'm tired. I'm about a white night right now. I'm about a white night for the first time. People need to put respect on AOC. Dudes be hating AOC just because she's AOC. Like there's an entire, I guess, manosphere, meninist, anti-feminism, whatever. Just like Trumper group, troll group on Twitter. There's anything AOC does gets flack. Like AOC can't live. Like she can't breathe without people saying something about her.
It's not just AOC. It's like anyone who's like, first of all, I don't even want to call them leftists because they're not even like leftists. But anyone who like holds even moderately left-ish views on like on like socialism or any kind of like economic policy, these people go insane. And so I think your point is like beautiful because like Republicans like to do this thing where like where they draw this, they say stuff like this. They're like, oh my God, of course you're socialist. You don't have any money. It's like, okay, so when someone's poor, they're only socialist because they want other people's money, right? Or they only want these kind of things because they want other people's money. And then when people are rich, they're like, oh, well, look how rich you are. You can't be a socialist.
Yeah.
And so it's like, bro.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And so, and also like mentioning the fact that the ticket was $30,000, like completely just doesn't even slightly address the tax the rich, which was the point of the dress. Like nothing about tax the rich is addressed in, oh, but that ticket was $30,000.
And give me a second. I'm gonna take my mic off the stand. I think that like you can be rich and believe in taxing the rich.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like
what's wrong with that? Like if you're willing to be rich and be like, hey, tax me.
Exactly.
You know, like I think being a socialist or having like more socialist leniencies doesn't mean that you don't believe you can have your own money and spend your own money wherever you please.
Thank you, Mac.
Like you can have a Lamborghini, you can have a Tesla, you can have the nice house, and believe that people deserve health care.
Did you see?
Right?
Yeah. Did you see? Speaking of this, and it's kind of like on the same topic. Hassan Piker.
I knew you were gonna say Hassan.
Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
He bought like a house, like a $3 million house in
Damn,
California.
good for Hassan.
And basically,
I'm Hassan.
Hassan. he had like all these people jumping down his throat for like the same reason.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's because Hassan's like entire, well, not entire, but like so much of like what rose in popularity was about him openly talking about being a communist, right?
Hassan, I don't know Hassan.
Well, defending communism a lot, I'll say.
Hassan is an interesting individual. I think this is my opinion. The reason he has so much traffic and like his videos get so much attention is not because his political commentary or takes are particularly enlightening. It's because he's hot.
Dude, he is a certified snack.
Let's be real. It's because he's an attractive dude.
Certified snack boy.
He's an attractive dude who has like leftist-ish views, and so I guess today maybe I think it would be pretty accurate to say that today like a lot of women are like leftist or like are left leaning are very much left leaning.
I mean, mostly young people, but especially you'd be hard pressed to find a woman who's not left leaning nowadays.
Yeah. And so like with these left leaning women, he's a super attractive dude espousing all these
he's the white knight.
And so that's the like how much of his audience do you think is women? I still think it's probably majority men.
I say at least 40%.
But he probably has
like
a much higher
40%
female like viewing than like Joe Rogan, for example.
I saw I don't know if you saw this. There's a compilation of like Twitch streamer girls just talking about how hot he is.
Why would I look at that?
And then no, I was like going down like I just searched that up, but I was going down like the rabbit hole. Like every time I find something new on the internet, I go through like rabbit hole, like just find like where it started and where it is now.
Okay.
And I was doing that with Hassan. It's also like he has, just like what you're saying, he's filled a space that no one else has filled.
Yeah.
Like he's a young guy. I don't want to say like, I don't like to gas people up, comparing him to political commentators on the internet, he's on the upper end of intellect. I would say, because there's a lot of these people that are just abhorrent. Like, I don't even know how to describe them. They're just awful in terms of just like where they're coming from with their opinions and all that.
It's not even like.
It's not that I'm not saying they have bad opinions. I'm not. I just want to make it clear for the audience.
No, some of them have bad opinions.
No, but I'm saying to make it clear for the audience. I'm not saying just because someone has a right wing view, like not right wing, a conservative view, because if they're right wing view, I'm like, bro. But like, just because someone has like a conservative view means that they're a bad person. But like, their logic, like how he's coming to his opinions, right? He's a young guy. He's very attractive, and he's like he's a dude. Like he's a confident dude.
Yeah.
And like in the Twitch stream,
because he's tall and good looking.
He's jacked too. Dude. He lifts.
I did not know he lifted.
No. Like check out his Instagram.
No.
He lifts.
Yeah.
I've been stalking
You can
him.
see his frame. Like his frame.
His shoulders are pretty big, bro.
Type B.
Yo,
yeah.
pause. Dude, but like if you look at these other I hate to go Jordan Peterson-ish, but if you look at the space he's in, look at the hierarchy he's in. Look at all the guys in the Twitch streamer space. These dudes are either built like mashed potatoes or sticks, bro. The vast majority of them. They don't lift. They don't have social skills. These guys are awkward, bro.
Yeah, he's kind of in that cross between like political commentary and like Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
So he's like
he's always been a streamer, I think.
Yeah.
So like he's in the streamer space where all these other dudes don't live, are awkward, don't have game.
This man has the easiest job. Like
Twitch streaming?
No, bro, not just Twitch streaming, like the type of Twitch streaming he does. He gets on stream, he turns on his camera, he has his chat going or whatever. He pulls up a video and then just reacts to it.
That's why we're doing this, bro. That's the vision. I love to have that income. Are you kidding me?
He make good money.
Hell yeah.
He makes good money.
He makes a ridiculous. Dude, these streamers are so rich. So rich. It's weird. You know what weirds me out when I say it's weird? I think about who is watching this that for all that time and giving money.
I mean, I doubt anyone sits through it. Okay, never mind.
No, bro. They have like these people just sitting and watching. I mean, I assume it's either kids or people at work. Like work a job like mine, you just like have a lot of free time.
You'd be surprised, bro. A lot of there are like mad incelly people, bro.
Yes, bro.
Incel.
That's what I was getting to.
But like losery.
No, incelly. I like that. like in your basement,
bro. I was listening to Abba and Preach again. Not to bring them up again. But they were talking about. They were like, I was talking with someone on Abba was like, I was talking with someone on Instagram Live, and they asked me a question. They said, "What's the oldest age that you'd be, you'd be kind of weirded out, or you might ask some questions about why they haven't had a relationship?" And then
relationship or like having a virginity?
No, like a relationship.
Okay.
Like a serious relationship.
Yeah.
And then Abba goes 28. And then he's like, and then the comment section lost their mind. He's like, he had people in the comments like, "Oh, I'm 29. I'm 29. I haven't had a relationship. And he's like, bro, I'm not saying you're broken, bro, but I'm just saying it's got to be a conversation. Like, why have you not had?
No, you're broken. Reacting like that.
Yeah, type B.
You need to fix it.
It's just weird. Like there are a lot of dudes on the internet who are just. What?
I don't know. Like we don't know why this happened. Like there's so many books, there's so many theories, all these red pill channels, all these self-help garbage. Or not all garbage, but like we don't know what happened to men. Where did men start going wrong though? I mean, I think even like the question, the notion started going wrong. You know, like I think sometimes we glorify history.
Like, no, we definitely do.
Especially like in this these red pill guys / manosphere guys / conservative, it all kind of lumps up into like the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
some
traditionalism.
There's like yeah. There's like a lot of overlap. Like if you drew a Venn diagram, that'd be mad overlap. Yeah.
Red pill man. Anyways, they talk about like this time in history where men were men, but I'm not like I don't buy it fully, because you look at that time, it was like, yeah, there's also Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. This is some behind the scenes. I'm like working on the script for like White Rage. Like I don't know if it's gonna be like a documentary.
I remember
piece.
a long time ago you were talking about making like a short film, kind of type B.
That
related.
was like cinematic. I want to do like a document, like analyzing it, because I don't understand it and I need to. But like, I think some of this idea that we used to be men is a white understanding of manhood. And we identified it. We like as white men.
This sounds so interesting. Elaborate.
White men have identified this period of time where we felt like men, but it wasn't a time that was good for everybody. It's because
we had access. I said we.
We were literally.
You guys had access to more things than anyone else.
Not that we are better than black people. It's directly that.
You think it's just black people?
It's not just, but it's
or like specifically black people.
It's always specifically black people, because that's when it started in slavery, when the plantation workers, who are white, were seeing the black people work in the plantation, and the only thing that would ever make them feel better about themselves was, at least I'm not that slave. At least I'm not doing it for free.
Yeah, I mean that's like the tragic beauty of the system of chattel slavery that was created here in America, because like everyone, like the government, everyone that was in power crafted this system in which even the lowest of the low of the low of the low on the social hierarchy could say, at least I'm not a slave.
At least I'm not black. Basically.
At least I'm not black. Yeah.
You know, and that's and you see it with other, and that relates to every other group of immigrants in America. If you look at Asians, look how they run away from the topic of racism in America, because they have like Asians specifically have conformed so well to white people, to being white. You see it in Chinese, Japanese, Korean, like they're still their own people. Like they keep their traditions.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why.
But when it comes to associating with black people, oh hell no. Indians,
freaking John is. He has a very ethnic Asian name at home. Yeah, but he goes outside and he's John.
John's a different dude at home. Yeah, they have their home name, but they have their white man name. You know, and Indians, Iranians, all the Asians do the same thing. Jews do the same thing. Everyone does the same thing. I want to be black though, and I think, in my mind, where it comes from, it's like I'm not claiming to understand. It's just a theory. To connect it to another book I read called the Better Angels of Our Nature. It's a book about violence. Yeah. And about how violence is like understood in like the human psyche. And then I listened to this lecture about white rage. And basically to combine what I'm understanding from the book and from the lecture. Well, rage and violence are connected to our sense of like control, and are like we have like an animalistic desire for power in terms of survival. And you see this white rage going to the lecture. This white rage in history is always surrounded around times, not always with black people, but like always kind of like relatively consistently, but there's like larger pockets of like incidences of like attacks against like black men and women, specifically around eras whenever they were going for things that white people didn't think they deserved. Whenever they're trying to get out of their status of just being a black person in America. Like the times when they're really fighting for like civil rights and all that was all these times with like increased amounts of racial violence, because it's like before it's like, oh, you know your place, you're chilling. I'm okay with that. You have like these weird racial relationships where like people, like there's like writings, there's like recorded, this is like recorded in history, like people will be like kind of friends with slaves, like buddy, like remember Django with the house slave?
Like Leo, he was like, you know that boy here, for that.
and there's like literally a weird camaraderie, but it's never fully spoken because that's wrong. But the moment they try to break out this box, point is, this is not a concept I've fully fleshed out yet. I'm still working on it behind the scenes. But basically,
behind the scenes
for my script, I'm like literally having to do like so much research on it because it's so like
complex.
But I think it relates to like our understanding. Like there's this fallacy of masculinity in America. We used to be masculine, and we connected to whenever men were on top. But it was never men on top. It was white men on top.
Yeah,
and,
I mean that's how almost everything in America is. Yeah,
and it's very similar to like Make America Great Again. Well, when was it great? When everyone else was in the dirt?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great for you.
Great for you.
This small percentage. You know? So I don't think we've ever been great men in this country.
So
as in all men.
That was mad deep. That was mad deep.
Gassed me up.
But even the whole like going back to your Make America Great Again thing, like the people, even the white men who were like the majority of white people were not living like nice.
But they're better than black people.
Like that was literally the only distinction.
You know what I'm saying?
Made.
Because here's the thing: if you don't feel like you're in the bottom, you're good. Like again, talking about Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson talks about we have an innate understanding of a hierarchy around us. Maybe it's not always true, but like we place ourselves in a hierarchy. If you feel like you're in the bottom of the barrel, you're angry because you're on the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah,
you know. Like, you ever walk in a room and feel like no one respects you there?
No. I'm not even like.
That's
I'm not even trying to flex or anything.
No. I think this is so indicative of like our differences. Well, if you ever feel that way, whether it's true or not, it makes you angry. It makes you like you don't want to be there. Like I need to get up here. And you see people like people who are bullies and stuff. A lot of times they're acting that kind of way because they feel like they're in the bottom. I need to get someone beneath me.
Bro, I'm about to switch the topic a little bit, but it's kind of related. So I'm in a couple of history classes this semester. One of the history classes I'm in is this history of medicine in the United States, basically. And so the unit that we just finished was about the study of gynecology and obstetrics in or like the science, I don't know, the profession of gynecology and obstetrics, like the history of that profession. And what I was reading is basically these white doctors, these white.
Oh God!
First of all, midwifery was like a thing that used to. Okay, let me just walk it back even further.
Okay, take it way back.
Infant mortality and like mother surviving pregnancy is something that until recent years was very, 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 very like mother surviving their pregnancy was low and infant mortality was very high. Damn. Either in childbirth or like a year after their child was born, you know?
Yeah.
And basically a lot of the progress that we've made in like that field was built on the backs of basically slave women who were experimented on, more or less experimented on.
Jesus.
So these people, like these white doctors, they talk about like the shift from midwifery as like a woman's field, kind of like a women did it for women. That was like what midwifery was. And then kind of how that shifted from midwifery to basically like men dominating the field of obstetrics and gynecology. So it was all these white doctors, this newly enriched and newly educated with this medical knowledge, and basically they started becoming the gynecologists and the OBGYNs for these women, for these pregnant women and women like for these women. And so a lot of times they'd have ideas, they'd have like experimental things that they were thinking of, ways that they thought that they could improve these women, but they couldn't do it on white women.
Yeah, because no one will stand for that.
In the reading, the lady talks about this one white doctor who did one of his experimental procedures on a white woman that worked. I think it was like the first person to successfully do a C-section. So she was pregnant and he did a C-section on her and it worked. But the fact that he cut into a white woman, basically the whole town ran him out of town. because he cut into a white woman. And it worked. She was alive. The baby was alive. Everyone was
The fact
alive.
that he took the risk on like a white life.
Exactly. And so basically these doctors moved, like they would either have their own slaves or they would go to a slave owner and be like, I'll be your slave's nigger doctor. I'll be your nigger.
Yo, I didn't say that, y'all.
I'll be your nigger doctor.
God.
And so they just literally like experiment on these women.
Yeah. And not just with like pregnancy related things, issue like all like like our medical history.
Yeah.
Like riddle with this.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And so it had me thinking about COVID. It had me thinking about
Whoa.
it had me thinking about COVID.
Uh-huh.
Had me thinking about vaccine hesitancy. Had me thinking about how people who aren't vaccinated are basically being demonized. And it pissed me off.
Especially black people.
It pissed me off.
Especially the black people, right?
The black community, yes, there's a lot of vaccine hesitancy in the black community. And so I was trying to figure out why I was so triggered by the kind of demonization, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel nice, but like besides that, like what else about it was triggering me?
Yeah.
And I think what it was is like I saw, and let me mention one last thing. This is important because I saw this NPR article and it was called like a peculiar privilege. That's what it was called. And basically it was calling, let me see if I can look it up actually. It was calling out these Americans for like rejecting the vaccine. He's like, and I think this person that
you're talking about this. You said it's an Indian lady?
I think so.
She was like, what a peculiar privilege.
Because people in my country are dying because they don't have a vaccine or whatever.
Oh, Lord.
And then I was like triggered. And I was like, why am I triggered? And here's why I'm triggered. The notion, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, I'm like actually like a little bit shaking right now. Black people in this country. Okay, let me say it. When institutions fail you, what do you do? That's my general question. Okay, that's a general question for whoever's listening to this right now. When institutions fail you, what do you do? Because an institution that has failed black people time and time again, historically, has been the medical institution, right? Medical institutions have historically failed black people. You have this thing with the gynecologist that I just mentioned, where gynecology was built on the backs of these black slave women, right? You have things like the Tuskegee experiment where they're infecting men with syphilis and they don't even know, right? And for you to look at me in the eyes and say that I'm privileged, or say that any black person is privileged because they don't trust medical institutions and don't want to take a vaccine, you should slap yourself right now. You should slap yourself right now. Because where are you living? So I repeat the question, what do you do when institutions fail you? Because these institutions have historically failed these people for a long time. And it's weird how with Black Lives Matter and police brutality, you can be like, oh yes, I understand that there's a lot of there's a history here that hasn't been addressed for a long time, and so people are reacting to that. And so you can forgive people who riot because you acknowledge that history. But at the same time, you won't acknowledge the history of medical abuse that has been done to black people and minorities in general in this country. You can ignore that and be like, oh no, bro, just get the vaccine.
But you know what it is?
It makes me sick. What is it?
They don't know. I mean, I feel like something like police brutality, more people know because it's a lot in your face. I mean, this medical stuff, bro, they are throwing it under the rug. No one's teaching this stuff in schools that I know of.
What are you talking about?
Like no one's saying like
like the medical
like
history.
the history of how like American medical breakthroughs in science were built because of slavery. Because they decided one group of people was morally okay, green light, experiment, take their skin off, whatever. right? They don't know. But it also kind of shows this. I mean, this is a very large amount of ignorance around it.
Like, I'm just like, these things don't happen for no reason. Like, people aren't just like incredibly hesitant and skeptical naturally. There are like exceptions here and there, but like I think for most people it is like learned behavior, or like they've either seen their parents do it, they've seen their parents exhibit this kind of hesitancy or mistrust, or they've literally been burned.
It's a survival mechanism, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you're learning.
Yeah. So like for someone to see stuff like that, and then the first thought that they have be, oh wow, look at how either dumb these people are, or look at how privileged these people are, without even taking the time to properly investigate, makes me extremely upset. I mean, I don't think everyone who like who thinks that the vaccine is a viable solution is a sheep. Like, that's not the claim I'm making either.
But yeah, that's not the claim you're making. You're saying but this person is saying that people who aren't taking it are sheep and privileged.
Yeah.
Clearly, like, you're not even asking yourself why are a mass amount of people reluctant to take something. Like, you haven't looked into their struggles, what they're going through, their mindset, like even asking the question why. Instead, you're just looking at the small amount of white people who are just like, nah, liberals are bad, you know.
Ooh, I just worked myself up. Back to back to what you were saying about men. You said like this idea that men aren't men anymore is like basically white men aren't as great as white men used to be.
I'm just questioning the notion. Like when were men ever men? Like we glorify the past. Like, for example, like samurai, for example. Like that's like a very masculine thing, right? Samurais are also killing and raping villagers all the time. Like ninjas were a protest of samurai.
Yeah.
You know, like ninjas were villagers who didn't have steel, so they just killed the samurai in their sleep. You know, so like we just need to ask questions. Just how you talking about the COVID thing. Like, I think it actually wraps up perfectly well, because it's about questioning notions. Like, where did this thing come from?
Yeah, like, and for me, whenever I see people not acting in ugly ways, for example, like I see like a young boy or like a man, right? Yeah. Acting in a way that I don't think is befitting. I guess my initial instinct isn't to be like, subhanAllah, manhood has just absolutely deteriorated.
That's such an old head thing to say as well. You know?
Like, that's not my first instinct. I'm like, wow, that's an interesting behavior. I wonder why he does it.
That's a very old head thing. Man, kids these days, like, bro, you're one of those kids. You know? As always, old people. I mean, like, you look at statistics, like rape and murder have gone down. Like, things have improved.
I mean, I think there are a lot of young boys who are like absolutely lost in the sauce. Even more than young boys, like we were talking about, the 29-year-old incel in his basement who's spending all day watching Hassan or Hassanabi or whatever.
You know what it is?
On his Twitch.
It's social media. It's social media, because social media is kind of like hijacked our brains. So we get the same chemical releases that we get from virtual things as we do the physical thing. So a great example is pornography. A lot of dudes are just watching porn, and the reason people watch porn is because it makes your brain feel very good.
How come it's not happening with women?
Well, I think I think it is happening with women.
You think so?
But I think it's less obvious because men pursue women.
Explain.
Okay. If you're a guy who's incel porn addict, you watch porn because it makes your brain feel like you're with actual woman, right? So your brain feels like you're with actual woman, but then you realize that you're not. So you're like, let me solve this problem. Let me pursue women. Women walk around. Let me put this in a listen. Yeah, depending on what you're wearing, anyone's just gonna watch up. Even if you're a hijabi outside, men are gonna holler at you.
Yeah.
So it's just in the male's nature to pursue. Like, and women understand this as well.
It's not like the incel probably has to clean up a lot more about their behavior and what they look like.
And especially because an incel has to do actually, I think for the reason the incel is harder for an incel is because he's had this habit of not reaching out and having social skills. Plenty of women don't have social. Have you talked to women outside? There are so many women who don't have social skills, bro. Mashallah. No, like a lot, like awkward woman, and they just have a pass on it because they're women.
I think a lot of people are awkward, bro.
No, but I'm saying like women have more of a pass on this awkwardness thing because. Dude, guys would just talk. Guys are so thirsty they talk to an awkward girl, but woman won't make a pass for an awkward dude unless she really likes him. You see what I'm saying? Guys just be like, "Oh yeah, she's talking to me. She hasn't left yet. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
She likes the vibes." Girls be talking to an awkward dude and be like, "I don't know what's up with him. He's weird."
Yeah, I'm
like,
good.
What do I say? does she like me? What do I say next?
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So I think it's just shown more in us. Because
it's like easier to spot type beat.
Yeah, but like I think women have the exact same problem. You know?
Maybe in the opposite direction. So like if we were to frame it in this manosphere way, women are becoming more manly, and then men
Don't do the manosphere way.
Men are becoming more womanly? Question mark?
Women have become
I don't know.
masculine.
I don't know. I'm literally just bouncing stuff off.
So wait, what do you mean by women acting more manly? What's more manly about them?
This is not
Okay, no, I'm questioning the notion. Hassan's not saying that. I'm saying that thought you put out. This is a thoughtful sphere, not the manosphere.
The thoughtful sphere.
The thoughtful sphere. So any ideas go. I'm not judging you. Audience, if you judge him, you're whack.
I mean, I guess what if I'm trying to understand what they mean when they say that, I think it means women wanting to be like pursuing high paying jobs, like high prestige jobs,
pursuing like material success,
like a lot of job success, wanting to have like all those kind of things are like a woman being manly.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. And I kind of get where they're coming from in the sense that like if what they're like maybe they're saying, and maybe the reading between the lines, they're saying in order to pursue like their career, for example, they leave behind like ideas, and they stop respecting, and they stop thinking about things like motherhood, for example.
I don't think that's what they do. I think the manosphere philosophy is so poorly put together.
I agree.
Their thing is just like woman pursue success. That's masculine woman. Feminine women only do feminine things. Like
no.
Hang out with their girls and backbite. Like, bro.
I see. Here's. I kind of agree with it, but I agree with it for a different reason.
Okay.
Because we live in a super like ultra capitalist society.
Yeah.
If you are not a part of the workforce, you are not of value.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you're not working, you're not doing anything.
Basically, like on the capitalist spreadsheet, like a stay-at-home mom who takes care of your kids and is the reason that they're educated, for example, and the reason they could speak another language, like all that kind of stuff, like that isn't accounted for anything because there's no like tangible or like immediate economic production from that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, there's a move for women to like chase their careers and prioritize their careers over their families, for example. But that's not because women just want to be more manly. It's because the whole role of a mother has been devalued.
So they've been given nothing besides to be manly.
Exactly.
And if we're talking in the
like not manly, they have like there's basically no incentive to, besides like maybe a biological one, to not being manly, but like having a family or like not. Yeah. Like
I think when we say being manly, it's like what makes it manly.
I'm saying being manly, but I basically mean just like pursuing high-paying jobs, for example.
I think the reason we're saying
like high
manly,
prestige,
I'm not saying it is manly, but I'm saying the reason why the word manly is used or feminine is used is because there are things that traditionally men will mostly do.
Yeah.
Like a man can't raise kids. He can. Men men suck at kids.
No.
No.
their role-
I'm not
their role
saying
is
bad
different.
fatherhood is acceptable.
Thank you.
I'm saying the best father is not anywhere close to the best mother.
Yeah.
In terms of one-on-one with her kids.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Fathers
No.
need to be amazing fathers.
Uh-huh.
But when in terms of who is the best at holding a household together and who is the best at getting this bread,
Yeah.
a man is better at getting this bread and a woman is better at raising these kids.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some people are gonna be so triggered just hearing that. Just hearing my opinion about that, which has no quarrel with your life. Some people are like, I make more money than my husband. Good for you.
I mean, they're
Like,
I just think I said capitalism definitely plays a part, but also I think Western feminism has also done a very good job of also I think the pattern that these meninists are observing, I'm just calling them meninists, yeah.
Yeah, man.
These meninists are observing is kind of true, but I think one, where they say it comes from is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
One. And two, their reaction to it is like completely over the top.
Yeah. So where do you think it comes from?
I just literally explained.
Oh no, sorry. I meant to say, what do you what's their reaction?
What's their reaction?
Yeah.
Misogyny.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't be supporting misogyny around
Misogyny.
here. Yeah.
Like they're like, and this is the thing that confuses me, because they'll build this, like they'll frame this argument, right? And they'll be like, yeah, women are less manly. Need to become less manly. And right now they're very manly because they're pursuing all these high paying positions, high prestige positions, right? And like men don't care about that. And then in the very same breath, they'll be like, oh my god, all these women care about is my money, and like these biddies are gold diggers and don't love these women because all they want is your money. And I'm like, bro, you just literally set up, like within your framework, right? If they're not after these high paying positions, these high prestige positions, then they're reliant upon a manly man to provide for them.
To be that manly man, bro.
Of course they'd be looking for someone like within your own framework,
Yeah, it's like I think men have become more in that framework. Not saying that they've actually done this, but using like the meninist logic, men have become more feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Men have become a lot more feminine.
Yeah,
dudes are just content nowadays. Like going to some, I think some of you were saying earlier, or some of you were going to say earlier. Guys are just so content with having nothing. Men don't have hunger. Where's your sexual drive going?
So is that what they're referring to, you think?
I don't know, but I'm just asking a question. Where is your sexual energy going, my guy? Where? Like, do you get angry for being so broke at some point? I'm not talking about being broke, like out of control broke. Reasonable brokenness. I'll give a story. There is a guy who was a friend of a friend. Came here from Africa, got a scholarship from literally Africa to go to a community college in Virginia. Man was working like he had to have like 18 credits for his scholarship, working a full-time job at 7-Eleven, busting his butt. And he was broke. Like you should be broke in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like that he's broke. He's also using all of his energy, like that kind of hunger. Like man is working towards something. So many guys now, there's not even like let alone doing the work. There's not even a vision for what to work for. Like at least if you're not working hard and someone's like, hey bro, you have that goal, go after that goal, they get to work.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't even have like a life vision. They don't have a big dream. They don't even have something out like I feel like everyone should have something outrageous to go for.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I guess my issue with some people, not a lot of people in the manosphere, like the whole manosphere, they have completely bought into like the idea of usefulness and functionality within a capitalist like society. So, for example, they'll be like, yeah, don't major in anything that isn't STEM because
I know that triggers you.
it's
No bias there.
no bias. Yeah. Don't major in anything that isn't STEM because like it's inherently useless because you won't be able to immediately and like very tangibly give back to the economy.
Yeah.
Give back to the economy. Yeah. And so it's like, shut up, bro.
You know, but like, I'm kind of with that too, to an extent. Like, I see that. You know, I'm a boomer by heart.
Yikes.
You know, like I'm with it. Like, I see a guy who's like, I'm going to film school. I'm like, bro, don't do it, bro. You know, like, get your money.
Here's the thing. For me, it's more about, and this is what I've always said, it's work.
It's always
work.
about work. Yeah. Yeah.
You could do your STEM. You could get your STEM degree in a field that's supposed to be very lucrative, and work your butt off and still not make that much money. Like, that's completely possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not about you. It's never. It is about you, but it's not about like. All you're told to do is work. You're not told to make money. You're not told to get this nice job. You're told if you have a family, and by you're told I mean like Muslim.
I was gonna say.
Let me put that in perspective. Yeah. As a Muslim, God's like, work, I got you.
You know why though? Because we actually don't have any control of how much we make. We don't.
But here's
we
the
can
thing.
only optimize.
Let me finish. So, if my son is like, "Hey, Dad, I want to go to film school," I'll be like, "Okay, do you have a plan? Okay, this is your plan. Say that plan don't work. What are you gonna do?" And if he could give me like, reasonable steps, like not everything's gonna work out the way you think it's gonna work out, And so I'm not gonna tell someone, "Don't do," like I might not do it myself. I'm not going to be like, unless it's haram, obviously. I'm not going to be like, don't do this because you might not make any money. Because you might not make any money even if you do the thing that I want you to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no way to ever guarantee money. There's not. Like, it's all about optimizing. It's kind of like optimizing the things, your likelihood. It's all about likelihood. Like, I hate the logic of, well, the richest people in the world are college dropouts. So, like, yeah, also the poorest people, like all the poorest people are college and high school dropouts probably, but
also the richest people in the world have like so many things go right for them that
it's like synchronicity
that either they were born with or they absolutely like literally lucked into.
It's like synchronicity. I was reading Outliers, or listening to Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. He was talking about Bill Gates, I think.
Yeah.
He was describing him not as Bill Gates, so he was like, there's this kid.
Yeah, I remember he was like, he went to the one school that had like the one computer.
One school in the United States that had a public computer. And he not just that, he got private access because he knew like the janitor or something. And he was there all day.
Yeah.
And that's why this guy's a computer wizard. No other kid had computer time. So he grows up learning this computer in a time where the adults at the time are doing the computer stuff. And as a kid, you have way more brain plasticity.
SubhanAllah. Brain plasticity.
You like that.
Andrew Huberman.
Let us know what you think. Let us know what triggered you. Let us know your honest opinions. This is the thoughtful... we have to start off the podcast with this now. This is the thoughtful space.
The thoughtful sphere.
In the thoughtful sphere, we entertain ideas. We don't ridicule people for just having any idea, So if you guys want to share your idea in the comment section down below, we're happy to hear it. We do got to get better at replying to comments better. But follow the podcast, like the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on wherever you're listening to this podcast. Make sure to like it, share it with a friend, with a loved one, and comment. Let us know your personal thoughts. You can support the podcast, especially by going to patreon.com/thoughtful banter, and check out our Instagram page. Hussein, can you please shout out our patrons for us one more time?
Here we are. Okay, one more time.
Cue music.
Thank you so much to our beautiful, wonderful patrons. Started with my guy Ali, T-Jam, Justin, Muhammad, and Jordan. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all the support and love. See you guys next week. Oh, 2 weeks from now. Peace.